Ever get that feeling, that some places just have a soul, something more than just the sum of their parts?
Yeah, absolutely. And today, we're diving into a region that, well, our sources really suggest vibrates with that kind of unique energy.
We are. Welcome everyone to this deep dive into Kerala, often called, quite affectionately, I think, God's own country.
And that nickname, it really hints at something special, doesn't it? Our source material today, excerpts from Ep.2.pdf, points to this extraordinary mix of um, natural beauty and really deep cultural richness.
hmm So our mission today is to kind of sift through this material, pull out the most fascinating bits, the important stuff about Kerala from this document.
Exactly, to give you a quick but hopefully, thorough understanding of what makes this particular Indian state so distinctive.
Okay, so let's kick things off. Geographically, the document places Kerala right down at the southwestern tip of India.
Yeah, bordered by the Arabian Sea on one side
Right.
and the Western Ghats Mountains on the other. Quite a setting.
It really is. And what struck me from the material is how small it is in terms of land area.
That jumped out at me too.
Yeah.
The source says it's only about 1.18% of India's total land. Tiny, really.
But packed, isn't it? It describes such diverse landscapes within that small area. It's not just one thing.
No, definitely not. You've got these misty tea gardens in places like Munnar.
Oh, yeah, the pictures look incredible.
Right. And then you contrast that with the serene backwaters.
Yeah.
Aleppi and Kumarakam get mentioned.
The houseboats. You always see pictures of those.
Exactly. Life moving at a different pace there, it seems. And the capital, Thiruvananthapuram.
Right. And the language is Malayalam. Over 1,000 years old, the source is.
Yeah, which speaks to a really long cultural history there.
So you've got mountains, tea gardens, backwaters. What else does the source highlight in terms of nature?
Well, it doesn't forget the wildlife. It specifically mentions sanctuaries like Thekkady and Wayanad.
Ah, so elephants, tigers, that sort of thing.
Precisely. It paints a picture of a really thriving ecosystem, not just pretty views. It calls Kerala nature's favorite child, which is quite a description.
It is. And the beaches, are they mentioned?
Oh, yes. It talks about calm, golden beaches. Places like Varkala, Kovalam, and Bekal suggest they're more about tranquility, maybe.
Less about huge waves, more about relaxing. I get that.
Mm-hmm. And then there's the monsoon. The source describes the rains as heavy, almost musical.
Musical. That's an interesting way to put it.
Well, it emphasizes how vital those rains are for keeping everything so green. It's not just weather, it's like a life source for the landscape.
A cycle.
Right, sustaining that vibrant look. Okay, so beyond the stunning nature, the document really digs into the cultural side too. A rich heritage built over centuries.
Yeah, and it gives some really evocative examples, like the dances Kathakali and Mohiniyattam. Very graceful, it sounds like.
And the drums. Chenda drums.
Powerful sound, the source implies. And then the festivals, described as really colorful events lighting up the streets. It sounds incredibly vibrant. What about specific festivals?
Onam gets a big mention. Sounds like the main one.
Oh, yeah. What's involved?
Well, the document talks about these intricate floral carpets called pukalams, thrilling boat races, snake boats, I think music everywhere.
Wow.
And this huge feast, the sadhya.
A feast. Tell me more about the food.
We'll get there. But the sadhya, it's served traditionally on a banana leaf. It paints a real picture of community and tradition.
Definitely. And it connects this culture to the people, describing them as warm and progressive.
Yes, and notably, highly literate. It highlights Kerala having the highest literacy rate in India.
That's a significant point. It's not just a statistic, is it? It probably says a lot about their society.
Absolutely. It suggests a real value placed on education, maybe for a long time, which could underpin that progressive outlook the source mentions, a tradition of equality and learning.
Interesting connection. Okay, now, you mentioned food earlier. My stomach definitely noticed. The document seems to suggest Kerala's cuisine is a major draw.
Oh, for sure. It calls it a heart stealer for food lovers. The descriptions are quite something.
Like what? Give me examples.
Okay. Fluffy appams. They're like sort of like pancakes made from fermented rice batter served with creamy vegetable stew.
Sounds good.
And spicy fish curries made with coconut, naturally. Coconut seems key.
Coconut, curry leaves, tamarind. The source lists those as key flavors, right? Along with fresh spices.
Exactly. It's all about those fresh, local ingredients. And then there are these sweet payasam desserts.
Payasam.
Like a pudding. Kind of, yeah. Often rice or lentil-based, sweet and milky. But the big thing seems to be that sadhya feast we mentioned earlier.
Right, the one served on a banana leaf.
Yeah, a vegetarian feast apparently, with over 20 different dishes. It's described as a whole experience, a culinary journey.
20 dishes. Wow, that's impressive. It sounds like food is deeply woven into the culture.
It really seems that way from the material. Okay, so beyond the nature, culture, and food, the document points out some other really unique aspects. Well, for one, it's highlighted as the birthplace of Ayurveda.
Ah, the ancient Indian system of natural medicine.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's this deep connection to wellness and natural healing traditions running through its identity.
That makes sense given the focus on nature.
And then something very iconic, the houseboats. That whole life lived on the backwaters, on these traditional rice barges or ketuvallums.
Definitely a defining image of Kerala, isn't it? Floating life.
Absolutely. And remember those Western Ghats we mentioned at the
Like
start?
mountains, yeah.
Well, the source points out they're a UNESCO World Heritage Site
Oh, really? Why is that?
because of the incredible biodiversity. Rare plants, rare animals. It underscores the ecological importance of the region, global significance.
That's important context. It's not just beautiful, it's vital ecologically.
Precisely. And then there's a fascinating historical note tucked in there.
Go on.
Kerala was apparently one of the first places in the world where a communist government was democratically elected.
Wow, okay. That's unexpected, maybe. A really unique piece of political history.
It certainly adds another layer to understanding the state's character, doesn't it? A different kind of progressive streak, perhaps.
It really does. So, putting it all together, the incredible nature, the deep-rooted culture, the amazing food, these unique historical and wellness aspects.
It really does paint a picture of more than just a destination. It circles back to that initial idea, doesn't it? That feeling of a place with a soul.
Yeah, it truly does seem like this blend of breathtaking scenery, living traditions, delicious experiences, and just unique history.
And considering that mix, the deep traditions alongside that history of, let's say, progressive governance.
It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Wonder what?
Well, maybe what we can learn from Kerala about balancing societal change with preserving cultural heritage. It seems like they navigate that in a really interesting way.
That's a great question to ponder. How do you hold on to your roots while still moving forward? Kerala seems to offer a unique perspective on that.
It certainly gives you something to think about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, which part of Kerala really calls to you? Is it the peace of the backwaters, the energy of a festival, the promise of that sadhya, whatever it is, this deep dive definitely sparks some curiosity.